Do Uber drivers just not understand what they're asking for when they say they would rather be employees rather than independent contractors? I don't know. Let's discuss. Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and I'm going to do something that I actually rarely do in video form. I'm going to respond to a comment that I got in my YouTube comment section. Now, I'm not going to share this person's name or image because the point of this is not to harass. It really isn't. The point is to disagree. Disagree strongly, maybe, but still disagree. And here's the thing. I'm responding to this particular post for a few reasons. First of all, it's long. It covers most of the complaints that people who are against Uber and Lyft drivers becoming employees have. And he was just snooty enough about it that I feel like that warrants a response. Like, I'm going to put the comment right here, sans the image and the name, and I'm also going to delete the comment in the comment section for the purpose so that no one harasses this guy, because I'm very sensitive about things like that. If I believed that I could respond to this person and everyone would leave him alone, I would, but I don't feel comfortable with that. So, to the person who I will call him M, kind of like the Men in Black. Like, M, this is not to disrespect you. This is because I don't want you to be harassed in the comments. If you out yourself in the comments for this video, that's kind of up to you, but I'm going to do what I can to protect your identity. So, here's the thing. The reason I decided to respond to it was because of this last line. There are probably more, but dang, I feel like the fact that I have to explain the problems with your greedy A attitudes is retarded. Which is by far not a very good or mature response. Here's the thing. We can disagree about the whole employee versus independent contractor status thing till the cows come home, and I encourage that. And in fact, here's the thing. I am honest about the fact that I would ideally like us to stay independent contractors, but what we currently are not independent contractors because we are constrained by rules that ICs should not be constrained by. And I've got a couple more videos about this too coming in the next couple days. So he said, okay, let's take a look at just what you guys are asking for as employees instead of those loose independent contractors we are now. Well, it is debatable whether we are definitely independent contractors now because, there's that whole ABC test and Uber and Lyft fail on the ABC test. So let's get that out of the way. So it says, 1, drug tests and possibly breathalyzer at the hubs before you start every night, which means lines at the hubs you have to wait in before you get to start for the night. Here's the thing. I believe that, yes, drug testing will be a part of the hiring process, and I don't see how that's a bad thing. I've actually encouraged drug testing and fingerprinting for this company for quite a while. But this is crazy. You think it's going to happen every single night? I mean, no. Companies do take tests on you. They do drug tests. They look through the records. They want to make sure that you've been sober for a while. If you have DUIs, that's a red flag to them. This is not something that Uber or Lyft would do. In fact, the only reason your car would have a breathalyzer test on it would be if you have a DUI and have re-gotten your license, and they want to make sure that you aren't drinking as you're not supposed to. I mean, those things do exist, and there's a good reason they exist, but it's not like Uber's going to have to now drug test you and breathalyze test you every single night. Taxi drivers certainly don't do that. Public transportation people don't do that. That is an insane comment to me. However, it's brought up enough that I guess I should talk about it because as much as I want to roll my eyes at this guy's being absurd, I've heard this comment several times, and no, that would not happen if you were an employee. Anyone who was an employee for anywhere, did you get drug tested every single day? How many people even took breathalyzers for work? I have never taken a breathalyzer for any of my jobs. I only took it once when there was one of those stop places And the guy pulled me over and asked if I was drinking, and I said no. And for some reason, he didn't believe me, so he asked if I would take a breathalyzer, and I was like, sure. And I did, and everything was fine. I think I remember. The problem was he saw like a glass bottle, and I told him it was root beer, and he was like, well, would you take a breathalyzer test? And I was like, yeah, sure, of course I will. So anyway, number 2, mandatory start and end times. You will be emailed a schedule for when you are allowed to log in, which means some people will be given the prime times and others will be shafted. No more logging out during your shift because you aren't making money, are hungry, little tired, etc. This is a very valid complaint. This is a very valid complaint. This is one of the reasons why I wish Uber and Lyft would frankly take care of this on their own and not let the government go to the point where they feel like they should regulate, which that's why it's happening. And there goes the bad plumbing. It's because the government and the drivers feel like Uber and Lyft are taking advantage of people. If Uber and Lyft were like being really generous with their drivers, I don't think this would be an issue, because I remember, you can look at my old videos, I mean, there are like 1,000 back there, but you can look them up. I was very anti let the government get involved. I want to stay independent contractor. This was one of the reasons why, and yet they keep breaking my heart. They keep breaking the rules, in some cases the law, I think, I believe. I'm not going to say that definitively because I'm not a lawyer. And it is true that the freedom is by far the biggest pull. But here's the thing that I want to mention. If you are a full-time driver, essentially you have full-time hours. Like, you have a schedule. You get up at a certain time and you get off at a certain time. You have a self-made schedule, and Uber's schedule would not be as long. It would probably be more convenient in some cases. And yeah, there are some people who will get the undesirable shifts. But let's also think about the other way this could go. Because there are people who would like to drive during the day, and there are some people who like to drive at night. Now, there are more people who would like to drive during the day, so here's what could happen. Let's say they're paying a flat rate, an hourly rate. And they're paying that across all of the time zones. Well, a lot of people are not going to do a graveyard shift for wages, for basic wages. So it might come to a situation where Uber and Lyft have to offer more money to drivers at night, like for the 2 a.m., the 3 a.m., the 6 a.m. shift. And, they would get paid with surge rides from the rider. So there is a situation where if Uber has to have mandatory start and end times, then yeah, you might just have to pick your shift. And if you don't like the shift, of course you don't have to work for them, and Uber will have to probably work with you. I mean, that's how it works with retail. There have been many situations, because I worked with retail for years, where they actually went up to employees and they asked who would be willing to do this hour shift, and they'd feel it out first. And there were always volunteers typically. And only when there was absolutely no volunteers did they actually force it on you. So I don't think that it is disappointing that you would be in that position where you can't just pick your hours anymore. I don't know if it's going to be as bad as you think it's going to be. However, I sympathize and agree with this point. This is something I would not like to happen, and it will happen. I guess I'm just going to have to accept it. Number 3, promotions will go away most likely. Since they are paying you hourly and you have to be on the road, they will have no incentive to give you any bonus for going out. Here's the thing, they're already taking away the bonuses. They are taking away the bonuses. And as you found out, yes, from yesterday's video, they have also cut the rates again. So, hey, I'm sorry, buddy. Promotions, they're going away whether we're employees or not. So, that's not a very valid concern right there. 4, layoffs. They will probably deactivate a large number of drivers so they can afford to pay the rest. You may think this is great until you are the one deactivated. Well, that depends, because here's the thing. They have a lot of drivers, and I'm going to assume a lot of them work full-time. If you work full-time and you really, truly depend on this as a job, guess what? You are probably safe. You are probably safe because you are clearly willing to work the full-time hours. Now, afterwards, they will start going for the part-timers. But if they have to start laying people off, they are going to go to the people who drive once or twice a week, maybe even once or twice a month. Like, they will go to the people who just do this for a little extra beer money, and those are the people that will get low. Now, that will get laid off. I'm sorry. Now, I don't want to cheer for anyone to lose their job, but here's the thing. In that situation, that will suck. It will. However, this is not your job. You're just doing it for a little extra money. And even if you're doing it for a little extra money, you're not doing it for any substantial money. If you're doing it for like a day or two here or there, then you're not making anything. This is not a big part of your money coming in. This does not help pay the bills. So you won't miss it per se. Well, you'll miss it, but it won't like hurt you financially. I mean, Katie, like for example, Katie probably would be one of the people who got laid off. And she does it when basically she wants to get a pedicure, like an extra one. She drives a little bit, makes $50, $80, goes to get a pedicure. It's not like this would be felt by her if she was let go. So the layoffs should not be a scary word because the people who do this full time anyway, and the ones who seem to be the most objected to this for some reason, they would probably not be let go. Number 5. Business will decrease because prices will go up. Heck, it's already decreased due to idiots scamming the app and creating artificial surge zones, which, by the way, the reason they have instituted the times when you aren't allowed to log off. It's to prevent the drivers from scalping the riders with higher fares. Well, again, we've discussed this. Uber and Lyft are actually not allowed to do that if they are a true independent contractor. So, again, this is why I say we are employees. I mean, I don't know why I have to explain this to you, but it's true. You're not employees when they do things like that. Now, let's look at the business will decrease. Because you know what Uber and Lyft said for years when they were dropping rates pretty much every few months? You will get more rides and business will go up. And here's the thing. I think when the rides got to like $1.35 a mile, at that point, I was so busy I could not pick up more rides if I wanted to. It could not possibly get any busier for me. And they kept dropping them. So here's the thing. Yeah, the prices will go up and some people will decrease. You know what is also going to decrease though? Your layoffs. People will be laid off and thus there will be fewer drivers and the demand will even itself out. That's called market correcting. So no, your business is unlikely to decrease if you become an employee. And in fact, here's the thing. Positive side. If you are an employee and let's say the business does decrease, guess what? You are then making money even if you're not driving. You are making money even if you're not driving. That seems like a nice trade-off, doesn't it? By the way, I was wrapping this video up, but then I noticed one little comment from another M underneath this one that we've been looking at for a while, and I wanted to comment on that one as well. Because this person said, forgot to say now they can fire you at any time as usual, but officially. Guys, don't worry about that. Here, let me explain one of the advantages to being an employee versus being an independent contractor. When you are fired for being an employee, they have to have a reason. Because if they don't, they pay your unemployment. And well, that's the thing. They fire you for no good reason, you get unemployment. And there's a due process when you get suspended as employees. They have like an HR department that works this stuff out. So why are you concerned about that? They're firing you for no reason and you don't get anything out of it. Why wouldn't you want to move to a situation where if they fire you, you get moolah? Why wouldn't you? I don't know. I don't completely understand people. Again, this second point I understand the most. Most of this is unbased fear. Unbased fear, in my opinion. And, and I hear these complaints all the time. So, yeah, those are the most common problems that could arise that people, or the most common concerns, I should say, most people have about going from independent contractor status to employees. However, again, I will reiterate that they are already treating you like employees. They determine the rates. They determine whether you get a promotion or not. Something happens, they determine whether or not you stay on the platform or leave. You usually don't have a say. You can get on and off whenever you want. But now, Uber and Lyft are even starting to say you can't do that at certain times or at certain places. I'm getting emails from people saying that green hubs are actually telling people not to log off at airports because you will get deactivated. I don't know if that's true or not. I wouldn't be surprised. So they are definitely treating you like employees. You're already employee in everything but name. So, I mean, I personally think take these fears, squander them. Squander them. Like these are unfounded fears in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. What says all of you? What do you think? Because this is a discussion channel. So I'd love to hear. Comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly. You get access to my Patreon's exclusive blog. Also, check us out at the Apptrepreneur Vlogs channel. It's a fairly new channel. We're trying to upload more content as best as we can. And if you want to talk to me or other fellow rideshare people, check us out at the Apptrepreneur Hangouts on Facebook. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.